Alright boys, I thought this would be a nice fun video to make. I'm sure this has kind of been on everyone's mind as the transition from ARK Survival Evolved to Ascended takes place. Which dinos should kind of be in the game and which ones really broke ARK. So I'm sure everyone has a different opinion than me. Everyone loves and hates different dinos, but these are the ones that I think really broke ARK and are pretty terrible additions to the game. Okay, so the first one, I absolutely hate this dino, the ShadowMane. It is just completely OP, totally broken in every way. So, I mean, there's a few different examples of this. I don't know who at Wildcard had like such an obsession with dismounting, but between nets and ShadowManes, it's like impossible to use flyers pretty much. And it's just really obnoxious for PvP particularly to be dismounted every 2 seconds. So when this first came out, I don't think people really understood how game-breaking it was, but the whole dismounting aspect has just made flyer PvP kind of unviable at this point. The damage and other things on the ShadowMane also make it pretty OP. Now that people have capped lines, it can like rage and go super fast. Okay, and this is probably the worst part. These things are literally like so hard to kill. They're indestructible. This one is like a tamed one with only 15k HP. So I'm going to do a little test here. We've got a Primi shotgun, so nothing too crazy, but let's see how many clips it takes. This is on fast speed as well, 5 times. Okay, so that was like, what, 150 shells from my shotgun to even get this thing low. Didn't even kill it. What other dino can kind of take that sort of damage? It's crazy that the armor this thing has. It's so hard to kill. There shouldn't be a dino like that. Okay, the next one, Stryder. I know this is another Gen 2 dino, and not really for PvP, but this just made resources and items. They're kind of worthless now. Because of how easy it is to get resources, this really broke the game in the fact that nothing's really valuable anymore. It used to be cool if you got like cool items, but it didn't really matter after Stryders. They're like pretty much free. So, I mean, we all know how Stryders work, but it's just the scale at which this changed farming in the game is insane. And I know some people will be like, nobody wants to farm like for hours a day for nothing, but at the same time, it really just ruins the aspect of high value loot within the game because there is none. Like what would take hours and hours normally with like an Anki or some other farming dino will take you 2 or 3 minutes with a Stryder. Like I'm gonna get Flint here. We're just gonna speed things up to simulate farming and show how much we can get in like 45 seconds. Okay, so I don't know how long it would take to get a slot cap of Flint with an Anki. Maybe like on Scorched Earth, it's pretty easy. Maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. 10 minutes, I don't know. But with this Stryder, I mean, what do we get? So we get like 4 slot caps of Flint here. So you can kind of understand that really is game breaking when it comes to getting resources and just making the game too easy. So this is another dino I hate. Some people love it, but it's really like counterintuitive to the concept of PvP. That the point is to like have a good fight and then you get a reward at the end, you get a kit, and the FjordHawk completely ruined that. Maybe it's cool for PvE players if they die to something, then they can just have their kit instantly. But this is still a broken dino. I don't know, maybe not so much on like wipe servers, but as far as small tribes and official, when this thing can get up to like 10k plus HP pretty fast, it's pretty broken. Yeah, so at the end of the day, this was a not favorable release for me. I think that it really broke PvP as well. It made it way too hard to get kits. Okay, boys, and this one is the mech. And there's going to be a lot of talk about this one because obviously there needs to be a good way to clear spam. People can't just spam their bases and you have to use C4 for it. But this broke the game, I guess. I'm betting everybody who's played official or a lot of unofficial has been mech rushed before. There has just been way too many problems with duping mechs where you've just seen people run mech after mech after mech into bases and the bases can't hold up to those mechs. So they need to either think of like a way to make sure these can't be duped, or kind of make them way more expensive. I know they're already pretty expensive, but there needs to be some kind of fix for ASA. We can't have mechs rushing into people's bases like we did the past like 3 or 4 years of official. It really ruined a lot of people's progress, and I think it made a lot of players quit the game in general. Mech rushing and duping of mechs, it just has to be stopped. At this point, people just have fridges and fridges of level 300 plus 60k, 70k mechs, which is a problem. Okay, this is another one. I know I'm referencing so many Genesis 2 dinos, and the developers probably knew that they're going to add all these game-breaking dinos, and I'm not really sure why they did that, but the Astro is another one, just because I don't think the dino itself is that OP, but because it's the way it's used with cheaters, as far as like aimbotting on the Astro, desyncing, all these weird cheats, it would be another dino that I would be glad will not be added to ASA for a long time. I'm actually looking forward to only having island dinos for the first couple months of ASA, and then Scorched Earth. There's not really any 2 game-breaking dinos until maybe like Extinction, the Mana, the Velonosaur. They start to get a little more OP than the other dinos, but yeah, I'm looking forward to not having to play against these dinos for at least the first few maps that ARK Survival Ascended is released. It'll be a good time playing on there, I think, if they can balance it correctly. Okay, an honorable mention has to be the Mana. This one's probably another one that's a little controversial. A lot of people like the Mana, but this was the first game-breaking dino, in my opinion. When Extinction came out, this was literally like nothing else in the game. Not even a reference to a dinosaur, but a flying dino that has an insane amount of stam, can do insane damage, has just crazy utility. Nothing really like it out there. It pretty much killed wyverns when it first came out. And then after that, they made wyverns breedable, so they're kind of, you can use them again. But I was really not a fan of the Mana when it came out, just because it kind of signified the ending of the original old style of ARK and moved things into this new age where they're not really referencing dinosaurs anymore. This is just like random creatures who have pretty OP abilities. Well, this is just my little rant, probably annoying to listen to a little bit, but I'm hoping for some better dino selections in ASA and maybe some game balances as well.